Is something bothering you, Master?
Yes, something has been bothering me, Nephris. Inform me about Ultra Instinct.
I believe the form is a byproduct of Son Goku's ability in the Tournament of Power.
It seems my fear was for naught. However, tell me, Nephris, is there a chance he can unleash this again?
I believe that the chances of Son Goku using Ultra Instinct again are very slim, Master. I can safely assure you that there is no need to worry.
I will take your word for it, but still, a chance is a chance.
Nakano? What happened in school?
School isn't the problem. Life changed in the summer. It was mainly between my mother and father. Most of the time, summer is a time where people experience a summer love or spend enough time together to the point where their bond grows closer. I just finished grade 11 by this point, and prior to that, my mother and father always seemed inseparable to me. But once the summer after I graduated grade 11 came, somehow everything gradually changed. Every day, my mother and father always got along together. Every night after dinner, they would dance a night away while I always laughed at how bad my father's footwork was. Although, by that time it was late June. Things seemed a little off to me as my mother and father had stopped with their usual routine. I thought nothing of it until the arguing started. The arguments weren't small either. The one that really drove the nail to the coffin was the argument about the idea of a good life. It was hard to go to sleep with all the arguing, until eventually I fell asleep, only to see the sunrise with my mother crying at the table, and with my father's things gone. I call it the Great Rest, because I think the grief got to me so much that I wanted to be alone. Once my mother had told me the separation was true, she also told me that it was better for me to go live with my father. Mother was always a soft-voiced woman, but here it just felt cold and gravely instructing. And for the rest of the summer, it was like that. Just a whole summer with father slowly falling into a deep grief, and mother shutting herself out, away from everyone. Father was a lot calmer than I expected him to be once I started living with him. It was almost like a state of peace of mind. The rest of June and July were like that, until he started to lighten up again during August. And it was like he finally understood that a good life doesn't need to be grandiose, but one that brings a smile every day. By mid-August, he told me he wanted to reconstruct our family again, so we can have our old memories again. He seemed intent on it as well, as if he wasn't going to change his mind for anything. In that moment, everything had seemed to lighten up. Everything felt like it was reaching a blooming stage. Next thing after that, my father and I had done full preparations for what we were going to do after mother and him got back together. I'm pretty sure Dad and I spent almost 2 full weeks planning. Finally, the end of the summer was approaching. Sometime maybe in late August, 5 days to September, we were ready to go through with our plan. Dad bought her a bouquet of flowers that day, and we made our way there. Once we got there, Dad told me to wait in the car, and he said he'd be back with Mom. It was warm that day. Although I didn't expect it to get as hot as it did, and in the end, I ended up dozing off. Then, somehow, everything felt wrong. The air was still reeked of death. Making it to the door, I saw something that no one should ever see. Dad's last words to me that day were, "I told you, we'd pull through."
Well, it seems that we finally meet. I must say, I didn't expect anyone to bother looking for you. There are 3 in my domain. 1 of green, 1 of blue, and the other of rage. I'm looking forward to how things will play out. Not that it matters. Everything will play out my way. In the end.